There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
What's up and welcome into episode number 13 of the Program Guys podcast. I am Mason Prince, joined with you by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Patrick Hertzberger, Matt Gann is at a Stars game. We'll see if he listens to this next episode. Guys, today is Wednesday, April 6th.
I know, it's already April.
It's already April. We're moving on. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media channels at Program Guys with a Z on Twitter, at Program Guys with a Z on Instagram. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, however you listen. By the way, Rich Hall, I'm going to get you on Google Podcasts, by the way, because that's how he listens, right, Mark?
That's how we would like to listen.
That's how he would like to listen.
All right. How he would like to listen.
Don't worry, Rich. I hear you. We'll get on there.
We see you.
Yes.
We see you, Rich. We got you.
I feel like we're setting a bad precedent, though. Like any listener that has something, we're going to fill the request.
We're going to get like 3 or 4 DMs for all these obscure podcasts.
No. You have to have fathered a program guy to get this. If Eddie needs anything done, if Steve needs anything done, if Andres needs anything done, if Matt's dad needs anything done.
I think it's our version of the friends and family discount.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Guys, big show today. Have our second interview ever. We are joined by Chris Plank of 94.7 The Ref in Oklahoma City, of Sooner Sports TV, of OU softball play-by-play, of OU football sideline reporting. He does everything. He's a big name in OU media, and we're very honored that he joins us later on in the show. Be sure to stick around for that. Guys, let's get started. At first, though, Final Four got wrapped up last night. March Madness officially over. Your Kansas Jayhawks are the national champions. They beat UNC last night. I don't have the final score in front of me. Anybody know that?
72-69. My Kansas minus 2.5 live bet during the comeback. The comeback covered. So I didn't get -4 before the game. I just didn't pay attention, but I got in at the right time.
Nice.
Wow.
Watching that game. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Watching that game last night, did anybody fire off any UNC is smoking these guys takes? Because at no point did I feel like UNC had it wrapped up. I just did it. Because I knew going into the game that Kansas was the better team. And even up by 15, they shot similar field goal percentages in the first half. Mm-hmm. And UNC just shot more free throws, and that was the difference. So I really felt like the game was even.
Yeah, and Kansas just went on that super long drought toward the end of the first half. You know, it was like 5 minutes of no scoring. Like it was tied 22-22, and then they went up like 38-22 or something like that. So they had like a 15-0 run. I mean, Kansas, we talked about this last week. In my opinion, Kansas was the better team, and that showed in the second half. Some people who are not on this podcast currently thought UNC was going to easily defeat Kansas.
Yeah, so. He did.
We don't say names though. We don't say names. Pat, did you watch the game last night? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I had a kickball game during the first half. Minor injury in the kickball game. I went for a ball, slipped, tripped, wasn't wearing cleats. So I had that in my head. Problem. Anyways, got to the bar for the second half, of course. And obviously walking into it, we were like, oh, wow, how's Kansas losing this game? But obviously when the second half started, we were confident that Kansas would win and then Katie would win.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we now have the winner of our Segway Pat. We have the winner of our bracket challenge. And ladies and gentlemen, it is actually my fiance, Katie Brungart. Everybody, soon to be Katie Prince. She's the champ.
You're not taking her last name?
We're gonna hyphenate.
I thought
I'm gonna hyphenate.
Hey, that's progressive.
I thought that was the plan.
Well, no, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I
think we should read out the top 5 if we could.
Yes, Pat, do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, we got Katie.
Go ahead.
Katie is number 1, obviously. Then Cody Nelly, then Becca, then Mason.
Wait, I was 4?
You were 4.
Nice.
And then ESPN fan 418-267-6071-1.
Shout out
They do that
ESPN
when you
fan.
don't make an account.
Loyal listener, man.
Yeah.
ESPN fan
Listener.
1543.
That's a program guy.
Yeah, that's a program guy. If I've
I think
ever
there
heard
was a
it.
7 in there, Mason. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's on me. I was thinking of the other guy.
Yeah.
So Katie wins the reward. She is going to be on the pod next week, whether she wants to or not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make her at least for 30 seconds. She has to brag about
For sure.
her win and talk about her Jayhawks. She's a KU grad. She picked KU to win it all. Her picks were very good. I picked KU as well, mostly because of her. Thank her for helping me avoid the punishment. Which
No,
Pat
we're
is
going
gonna
to
have
Ryan.
deal
No,
with.
we're going to
Okay.
Ryan.
Okay.
No, we're going to Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
I just
yeah.
want to make sure
We'll
we're
get. I know you guys are gonna roast me. It's okay. Which, speaking of which, I avoided the punishment. The punishment that Patrick is now going to have to do. Ryan, what is the movie that Patrick is going to watch and report on?
Guys, I'm really excited for this one. He is going to watch Drive My Car, a Japanese film that came out last year. It is nominated for Best Picture. I watched it a couple weeks ago. It's very good. It is 3 hours long, and it's very, slow. It's very quiet. It's a quiet.
I'm sure it
3
is.
hours.
It's 3 hours long.
So
It's not gonna be fast paced.
There's no English. It's all subtitles. There's a little bit of English here and there, and I'm not even going to tell you the plot of it
Don't.
because I want Patrick to be able to write his 1,000-word page or 1,000-word essay or whatever we're calling it.
Yeah.
And are we having him read that on the pod?
He won't
we
read all
please?
1,000, but we're going to do a select sampling.
If we
From-
find some quotes and then we release the rest of the essay
Exactly. Yeah.
separately.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Patrick, I'm going to be running it through whatever system is online to catch, plagiarism or anything like that. So it's got to be
Oh yeah.
1,000 words. You can't pull this shit from Wikipedia.
I would never.
I would never.
I think
I'm
I might do a
gonna-
live read on
I'm
Instagram.
okay
I
with
like a Instagram
Yeah.
live.
Go live on
Yeah.
Instagram Live. Do that.
I
That's a
like
good
it.
idea.
Yeah.
Go
That'll be
live from
good.
the program guys account.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
We'll put a
100%.
story of the day I do it and the time, and everyone can join.
Yeah.
I like that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
We'll
so
figure
it's
it out.
it's on HBO Max. So if you tell people when you're watching it, people can watch it with you,
There you go.
Oh, cute feature.
I don't think anyone else is going to watch it with
That-
you.
The
But
worst
hey.
part about this, I woke up this morning realizing that I was going to have to do this, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just kind of put it on the background during work." And then I was like, "No, it's in Japanese. I can't just do that.
Yeah.
I have to read the subtitles."
Yeah.
It's all
100%.
subtitles.
Yeah,
I'm so
You don't
excited
get to
for you.
multitask.
I'm so excited for you in this journey.
me too.
Congratulations, Patrick. Congratulations. You're last place again. Spray tan, now a report. We'll see what happens in the next competition. I know you guys want to roast me. I did, in fact, wear a Kansas Jayhawks shirt last night during the game.
Did you not see this, Mark?
No, I didn't see
No.
it. Where
Oh,
was
yeah.
it a Snapchat? You guys know I don't
No,
get Snapchats.
No,
don't get
I even
notified.
tweeted it out. I tweeted
Yeah,
out
he
that I was
tweeted
wearing
it
the
out.
shirt.
Yesterday was a busy day.
Yesterday was busy.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I did.
here's the thing, Mace. You do what you got to do. I understand you. I
Mm.
get it. I get it. The others, they don't get it.
No,
So
they
I'm not
don't.
going to roast you.
Because
not gonna roast you.
Cassie,
How's Patrick not get it?
Mark's beautiful girlfriend, Cassie,
Thank you.
graduated
Very
from the
sweet.
University of Oklahoma. So,
Damn. No,
Mark,
she didn't. Graduated from UCO, but she attended.
there you go. Okay, there you go. Same diff. Not really.
Better nursing
but
school at UCO.
Yes.
That's true.
Shout out, go roll chose. I think that's what they say. Patrick,
Old
his
Chose.
his loving girlfriend, University of Tennessee.
Yep.
Patrick wears his Tennessee gear a lot. He
I'm like
touts-
the biggest Tennessee fan west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
I,
Patrick doesn't
Like,
see.
Patrick,
Patrick doesn't
like-
have shame about it. You guys are like
No.
sheepish with your
Because
rock chalk and your
Yeah.
okay, sick 'em guys.
But,
And Patrick's like, yo, I got a Tennessee bucket hat too.
Patrick's
I'll bring this
shameless.
over here.
Patrick also has like 16 NFL teams he roots
He does.
for.
That's true.
So it's not
Yeah.
That's
like
true.
I have loyalty to my Oklahoma Sooners. My entire family went to OU. My brothers, my parents. I've been bred OU since I was born, right? Like that's what that means. I was born and bred OU.
Sooner born,
And-
sooner bred, and when you
and-
die, you'll be Baylor Golden.
Oh man.
I will not.
We'll find out.
But
we'll find out.
Look, Mace, I'm happy for Katie. I'm happy for the Jayhawks.
Yes.
I'm happy for the Big 12. That's 2 years in a row for the Big 12. Good
for them.
Good shit.
Speaking of which, this isn't.
It's good to see a group of 6 conference do so well.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of which, real quick before we move on to the NFL news, it was announced before the pod that Bob Bowlesby stepping down as the Big 12 commissioner. Anybody have any nice things to say about Bob Bowlesby? Because I don't.
He accelerated our exit from his conference, which
Correct.
will vastly increase our revenue streams moving forward.
That's good positive.
There you go.
I guess this is positive. He's leaving probably to have a less stressful environment around him that's going to be happening that he kind of created.
Yeah.
He kind of created this and then was like, oh no, I ain't dealing with this. And he's probably going to have a very less stressful life. And don't we wish that?
The old Magic Johnson meme before he was like about to leave the Lakers front office and they're interviewing him and they're asking him about next year. And he's like, I'm not going to be here. That's literally Bob Bowlesby right now.
He left it in like a state of
set the conference on fire and then leaves.
It's the meme of the little girl with the house on fire in the back, and there's kind of smiling a little
Same
bit.
energy.
He's like, I'm getting out.
Guys, this is way worse. This is a man who everyone has entrusted to be their bus driver, and 2 of the richest people just got off the bus, and so he's driving the bus off the bridge, and he ghost rides it.
Yeah.
And he just jumps out right before it falls off.
That's a pretty good analogy. I will give you that. That's a pretty good analogy.
Thanks.
Thank you for nothing, Bob Bowlesby, for 10 years of agony. I hope you enjoy your retirement or whatever else is next. Moving on to the NFL, Devontae Parker of the Miami Dolphins traded to the New England Patriots. Patriots give up some draft capital to get Devontae Parker, and the Dolphins get the 4th best receiver on their roster off the payroll, who was making a good amount of money. I appreciate Devontae Parker as a Dolphins fan. I think he's still a very good receiver. I think this is a win-win trade. I don't really think anybody won the trade. Anybody else?
I think it was just kind of a push.
Yeah.
Right now, I think you have to say the Dolphins won the trade because Devontae Parker wasn't going to play, not significant snaps, and they got a 3rd round pick. That's, they could get another receiver and have him for 4 years locked down.
On a rookie contract.
Yeah,
exactly. In other NFL news, Eagles trade the number 16 and number 19 and a 6th rounder to the New Orleans Saints for the 18th overall pick in this year's draft, a 3rd rounder, a 7th rounder, a 2023 1st rounder, and a 2024 2nd rounder. I know those are a whole lot of numbers and a whole lot of picks. Basically, what I take from this is that the Eagles are in on Jalen Hurts for at least 1 more year, and they're going to ride with him and see what happens.
Yeah, I remember seeing this tweet, and I was like, that's so many numbers.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's just so much.
So
basically, make this more complicated.
Basically, the Eagles moved to the 18th pick, and the Saints picked up 2 first-round picks this year, which were the Eagles picks that they got from. Well, one was theirs, and I think one was the Dolphins. Honestly,
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
So they got rid of those just to move back a couple slots. So yeah, Pat, anything?
No. This one was odd to me because no players were actually traded. I was
Pat, are you a Jalen Hurts guy?
Yeah,
you ride with him.
Yeah, I do. I used
to
to trust him with my life until the OU Texas game where he made that fumble, and then that kind of broke our trust a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not picking him up in fantasy, but I like
as you shouldn't.
I like his mentality.
Oh, he's a killer in fantasy. I trust him in fantasy more than I do on the field.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, rushing touchdowns.
Because you get the rushing.
You should draft him next year.
I might. He's a good pick.
Good.
Depends on where everyone goes. So also look out for, if Jalen doesn't work out this year, the Eagles have effectively moved their capital a year down the line. Mm-hmm. So they now have 2 first-round picks that draft and another second-round pick in the next draft. Very feasible to see them move up and get like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, someone we're not talking about right now. Yeah. If Jalen turns out to not be the guy for them.
I think that's a really good point. In a quarterback class that's going to be a lot better next year, some might say, to have all that capital to be able to move up next year is a good pickup for the Eagles to figure out. Saints are kind of in a all in right now to find one, and I don't know if now's the right time to do that. Frank Gore retires. Running back Frank Gore retires as the NFL's 3rd all-time leading rusher with an even 16,000 yards. Played for a lot of teams, made his mark with the 49ers and the Colts mainly. He retires as a 49er.
I knew it was a Colt.
Yeah, right? He was a Colt. He was a Dolphin. He was a Jet.
I knew it was a Jet. Forgot it was a Dolphin, honestly.
Yeah, he had a really good season with the Dolphins. He showed up late, I think, and he was like a late signing, mid-season signing, and he performed really well.
Frank Gore, man, consistent.
Third all-time leading rusher.
And you'd never put him on those lists. Never put him on those lists.
He was in a national championship backfield I saw with Clinton Portis and another big name running back, and he was still trucking, and he's the he retires as the 3rd all-time leading rusher. Shout out to Frank Gore. Shout out to Frank Gore, man. Dude made a lot of money, ran for a lot of yards. Good for him. You guys may not care, but it's Masters Week, and I'm very, very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a lot of fun because Tiger Woods is going to play in the Masters, maybe. He said today in his press conference that he plans on playing. He came here with plans on playing, and barring any sort of setback from his injury, he will tee off on Thursday at 10:34 Eastern time. I'm very excited.
Dude, so am I.
He was asked in his press conference today if he thinks he has said in the past that he will not enter a golf tournament unless he thinks he has a legitimate chance to win, whether that be with injury or whatever else. And the reporter said that to him. He said, "You've said this in the past. Do you feel like you have a legitimate shot to win the Masters this year?" And he said, "I do." That makes me happy. Golf is better when Tiger Woods is playing. Golf is better when Tiger Woods is in the hunt. Golf is better when Tiger Woods is there on Sunday in the last final pairing. I'm excited to see what happens. Masters is going to be electric this year. And we're going to go ahead.
I agree with all of that, but I don't think he makes it to the weekend. That's my hot take of the week. Small one. We're not doing a hot take segment, so that's it.
That's okay.
I don't think he makes the cut.
Do you want to?
I think that could be. I think that could be very like realistic. We don't really know, right? Where he's coming back from, he's been playing like really well, like with his son and everything. Speaking of which, Charlie, the second he starts, give me all the odds. And like I think he's playing well right now, but we really don't know how he's going to respond to like basically a horrific like accident that he was in.
You're right.
Like a year and a half ago. It wasn't that long ago. We'll see.
He's Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Not entering the Masters to not make the cut.
That away, Mark.
He's not made the cut in majors before.
Speak on it.
He's Tiger Woods. He's not entering the Masters to not make the cut.
I don't think anyone enters the Masters to not make the cut.
I think he makes the cut. I think he's there on Sunday. I don't know if he's in contention to win, but
you can never count him out.
If he's there, he's going to play on Sunday, and he's going to wear red, and he's going to show up in a backwards hat.
It's going to look so good.
He's going to look sexy. It's going to be amazing. I
if
cannot
he's there,
wait.
I'm watching. So
I'm going to be unbearable on Twitter for the next 4 days. So people better just unfollow me now. People better pray to God that Tiger doesn't go 5 under in day one on Thursday. I will be insufferable. You don't want to be following me. I can promise you right now. All right, moving on. We are picking golfers for the snake draft. We're going to snake draft our Masters team. Loser is going to do a punishment.
We didn't tell them we're drafting a Masters team.
Did I not say that? I'm sorry. I'm a terrible host. We're drafting a Masters team, and we're starting with Pat. Pat is our first pick, and we'll go. Is it Matt or is it Mark?
It's Mark, then Matt, then Ryan, then Mason.
Okay. To give context to everyone, this is the reverse order of the March Madness results. Patrick has earned the first pick.
Yeah, I sure have.
With his 3-hour movie and 1,000 words.
Thank
we
you,
should give I don't know. I guess we don't have to put a clock on it, but we'll just roast everyone who's slow.
We need to do this rather quickly.
Yeah, we do.
Like this could take a while. So don't give a lot of context, just dive into it.
4 picks. 4 picks is what we got.
Picks.
Okay.
Peace.
Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
Go, Pat.
I'm going with the favorite John Ram as my first pick. I have to.
Mark.
Solid pick.
Give me my guy Justin Thomas. I've always trusted him.
Good pick.
Solid pick. Dan, do we know?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, Pat's in charge again.
Oh, I forgot that. To tell the audience what's happening right now, Gan is at a Stars game, and he's entrusted Pat with his list.
No, he was like, just text me. And I was like, send me your list right now. And
he's always making things complicated.
Yeah, he picked Scott Scheffler.
Okay.
He picked Scheffler. Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm number 4.
Yes.
Wait, who's number 4?
I am.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Give me Tiger Woods, baby.
I'm sorry.
All right,
I know there's
still there.
the likelihood of not happening.
That's
but
okay.
I love the dude, and I'm excied about.
I have no shame.
Pick on the back.
I have no shame. You're 100% right. I was going to pick him first of all.
I know.
So you're.
I
get it.
You to it.
You guys are ridiculous.
All right, I have Dustin Johnson for my first overall pick. That is
DJ.
That's
I like it.
And it's back to me. I'm going to go Jordan Spieth, number 2.
Going Spark.
All right,
Ryan. Koepka. Brooks.
Mark. Or no, Gan again. Hold on. Yeah, that was Gan's third pick. Spieth is gone. He's got Colin
Morikawa.
Yeah. Mark.
That's a good pick by Gan.
Give me my guy, Patrick Cantlay, Goldman Sachs.
There you go.
Does he work there?
A little connection.
No, he's endorsed.
Oh,
or sponsored, whatever. Gan had Morikawa.
Yes, Gan had Morikawa.
I've got Cameron Smith.
And Pat, you're up again.
Oh, he's up. I see him.
And then I have Victor Hovland after that.
That's a great pick.
Oh, you picked Hovland.
Yeah,
dang it, that was my guy.
Guys, I cannot lose again.
That guy's money. Guys, I won so much betting him to make the top 20 in the Masters a couple years ago.
Really?
Because he was like the number 1 amateur in the world at the time. And
wow,
the odds were great. Not so much this year.
Nice.
All right, Mark.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, fellas.
You're good.
Oh, that's my bad. Give me the reigning champ Matsuyama. I know he's dealing with an injury, but maybe he's ready.
Yeah. Dude, his Champions Dinner tonight looks fantastic, by the way. Wagyu ribeye, sashimi, miso soup. It looks good. Like
Gan's
gonna be fire.
Gan's gonna be mad because I actually have taken a lot of his first picks. But
because you can see the list.
I literally sent him my list before he sent me his list. I was like, "Here's my list. Send me yours now." So there's nothing. This is all ethical.
He's not on the pod, so you know
that's true. All right, he's got Xander Schauffele.
Schauffele. Yep,
that was gonna be my pick.
Well, Ryan, what you got?
Schauffele. Oh, I see it. Hold on. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I'm typing all this out for the listeners and the watchers.
Yeah, so am I.
Right, Ty? What you got?
I think I'm gonna take Rory.
You're gonna take Rory? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Rory.
All right, Mason.
You freaking punk. Gosh. I hate that. I hate that.
I've just taken both of yours.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm super upset. I want Tony Finau. I like Tony Finau. Mostly because I just think he's devilishly handsome, and
he's
you
gotta
go.
You gotta go with
roll.
devilishly handsome.
He looks so good in that Nike hat, man. It's great.
Handsome people are good at golf.
Yeah,
They are.
that's true. Handsome people are good at golf. Tiger Woods, example
Brooks
A.
Koepka.
Brooks Koepka. Dude. Yeah, dude. All right, it's like my pick again. Yep. That's right. It's my pick again. Oh my gosh. I have Spieth. I have DJ. I have Finau. Oh, give me Zalatoris.
God dang it, Mason.
I'm taking Adam Sandler's caddy.
That was
Will Zalatoris.
Will Zalatoris. That's who I have.
Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm going to go with Mace. I'm going to go with your thing on handsome people. Good golfers. I'm going to go Adam Scott.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
That was my thing.
Solid, handsome pick.
I said that.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
I just said Finau was handsome. Mark said handsome people are going to go.
Okay,
credit to Mark.
Yeah, there you go.
Gan.
Gan.
Patrick is like,
he's got Louis
too. He's trying to handle two.
Yeah, who?
Louis. Oh,
damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
Freaking Gan. Louis Oosthuizen. All right, Mark.
All right, that really messes me up. Like more than I was expecting to be messed up. So that means I kind of just have to go with a name I know because I want to root for someone fun, right?
Yeah.
And my guy Bryson DeChambeau is still on the board.
Don't be a DeChambeau guy.
I get it.
He opened at plus 1,400 and is now at plus 4,500.
Oh wow!
I'm sorry, hate away. I'm going to take him with my last pick.
The dude's a massive douchebag. So I want to be on record saying that because he is.
Cool. You drafted Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, I don't
cheated on his wife with infinity people.
Tiger Woods is electric.
He was an addict. Okay, he was an addict. Oh, are we shaming addicts now?
Mason is going to defend
excuse behavior against his family.
Mason, you're not
Ryan.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, Patrick. All right. Last pick, brother.
Tyrell Hatton.
Who is that?
We can draft the hell out of some golfers.
Okay. Those are our teams. Everybody has 4. The way we're going to do this and decide average finish, ties are included. So like if you're tied for 16th, your golfer is in 16th place. If someone else's golfer that they chose is tied for 16th, they also get the 16th place. We're going to average it out. Whoever has the lowest average, I should say, so like closest to the top wins, lowest loses.
Why don't we just add up all the scores over the course of the weekend?
That's an option.
I guess people don't always make the cut.
If they don't make
because people don't always make the cut. I think that's a good point.
Wait, but if my golfer doesn't make the cut, then I don't deserve those points, right?
I mean,
so let's add up all the points.
But you want to be lower.
And and then try and see who's the lowest. That's easy.
No, we're gonna average.
But if you don't make, but if you
why
don't make
average
the cut,
it?
why is
How does
not?
That...
But why is not making the cut a benefit? Like that would be a benefit. If you
average, it is because it gets thrown into the bunch with a bunch of other rounds that were very good, right? If we do add them all together. And let's say use small numbers, right? All of my people end -4, Mason's end -5, yours end -6, Patrick's end -7. Patrick wins. We add them all up. Patrick wins. It's very easy. And if your person doesn't make the cut, you don't get those extra rounds.
Why don't we just take the score? So you're saying just take the score at the end of the Masters, at the end of Sunday, and add them all up
for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
that feels most logical. Averaging, you get different totals, right? If my guys don't make the cut or anyone's don't.
Sure. Why do we?
Okay.
I feel like the program guys, I feel like we have problems with.
We might.
We did this.
Patrick, anything to add? Patrick, you're a numbers guy.
No, it's time to move on.
Okay, I'm good with adding them up. I'm fine with that. I mean,
all right, let's do it.
My only thought process is like you have more chances to screw up if you like make the cut, right? You could have 2 horrible days on Saturday and Sunday, and then somehow the person who didn't make the cut is better off, Right.
That's golf.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
I'm good with it.
Does anyone have a punishment in mind? Punishment in mind.
I feel like this one should be like minor.
Oh, and we need it now, right?
No, I don't think it should be minor.
Well, yeah, why would it be minor?
Because it's like because
the blazing challenge or nothing.
Like, let's be honest, guys. We're not huge golf people.
I'm a big golf
none
guy.
of us are.
But I'm a big punishment person.
Okay,
Like,
so
none of
I
us are
like.
huge
So
golf
what about this? I like Patrick's idea. You have to go do the Blazing Wing Challenge in full golf attire. You have to bring golf. You have to try to bring golf clubs into Buffalo Wild Wings, or you take them to go and you eat them with your golf bag next to you in a polo, in shorts, in all this stuff.
Done.
And you got to eat the wings.
Sold.
I mean,
Sure.
I'm fine with that, but yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm not gonna lose, so I'm good.
Okay.
Same.
That's how I know I'll lose.
You said same. I have a bad feeling Pat's gonna lose just because it's what history dictates. But I believe in you, Pat.
Thank you.
I believe in you. All right, we're gonna move on to our interview with Chris Plank. Chris Plank from 94.7 The Ref and of OU media fame. Take it away, Mason.
3, 2, 1.
I am now joined by Chris Plank from a lot of things. 94.7 The Ref in Oklahoma City and Norman, Sirius XM, Fox Sports Radio, Sooner Sports TV in Norman. Anything else I'm missing, Chris? A lot of things.
I live on Twitter, so I'd Plank Show on Twitter. But now beyond that, I just try to stay as busy as I can, man. And I'm pumped to be talking some Sooner sports with you guys today.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Tulsa radio legend Chris Plank.
Hey, we're still on in Tulsa.
That's right.
Our 94.7 signal. One of the cool things is when iHeart, who I used to work for, when iHeart made the decision to put us on 94.7, they also put us back on my old station in 1430 The Buzz. So it's been kind of cool to hear from people in Tulsa. A lot of great friends and great memories. So it's been a fun shift in the radio world. When honestly, dude, when I moved down here, I wasn't going to do sports talk radio anymore. I was just going to be the Sooner sideline guy and whatever they needed me to be. But my wife decided she wanted a new car, and I had another kid. So we ended up getting a radio job. It's been great. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's awesome. Some people might recognize you as the voice of Oklahoma softball, the best team in the country right now. And they are a wagon. They are undefeated. You see them every single day. I have tons of stats written down, but just from your perspective, what's most impressive about this team?
How about let's put it in two phases and maybe even a third. What's most impressive is just Patty Gasso. She continues to find these incredible athletes, and they are so talented, and she gets the most out of them. So I'd say Patty Gasso and her staff is what impresses me, because you've seen teams get good players and it just doesn't click. And she's made it click for, 28 years now. So let's start there. But with this team in particular, they're probably a 2, maybe a 3-loss team if they had the pitching they had last year at this time. Probably lose to Utah. They might drop a game to UAB, and they probably lose that Sunday game to Baylor. But this year with Hope Troutwine and what Jordy Ball has brought, it's just they're on a completely other level at this point of the season pitching-wise than where they were last year. Now, they don't win a World Series without G. Juarez last year. But I think if you talk to G, she would even tell you, hey, I was a much different pitcher in May and June than I ended up being in March and April. So I think the thing that stands out to me is how improved the pitching staff is this year. And just, they always find a way offensively. They were dreadful against Baylor. They had one hit going into the 7th, and, a 2-out bloop, another bloop, and then a blast in its ball game. So they just eventually find a way. But I think you can't tell this story of 2022 so far without really getting carried away with how good the pitching has been.
For people who don't get to watch them super regularly, you look at the stats and you see they're 32-0 and they have 26 wins by run rule. You look at them on paper, and a lot of people in the OU community are saying this could be not only the best OU softball team ever, but the best OU team out of any sport that they've had. Is that fair assumption?
Yeah, I think so. Now you got to remember, there's some old school peeps that would, look back at some of the Bud Wilkinson football teams. There would be, some that say that even though they didn't win a championship, that 88 team that Billy had, or 84, that the year they got beat by Kansas, was something pretty special. But with the way that national championship baseball team with Russ and Rich Hills and those guys was fantastic in AT. But this has a chance. Now, here's the problem, is everyone in college softball sees that.
Yeah.
So you're not getting anyone – you're getting every single team's best shot. They're going to get, as we tape this, I'm getting ready to prepare for a Tulsa game tomorrow night. Tulsa's not a very good team this year, but I'll guarantee you that, even if it's just for a couple of innings, but you're going to get the best game that their starting pitcher is going to throw, because she's going to be dialed in. We're going to Tech this weekend. We're going to get the best, because everyone wants to prove themselves against Oklahoma. So, yeah, that's a great conversation I think that we could have hopefully in June after they raise a championship trophy. I know the other side of that is there's some that say, well, they need to lose a game somewhere. Okay. Well, I mean, they lost all of 2 during the regular season last year, and they got better because of it. But this team has had 2 near losses that I think it really learned from, and that was the Tennessee game and then the Baylor game. Yeah, I know Utah was a close game. I know UAB was a close game, but I never thought they were going to lose those games, right? They really had things dialed in pitching-wise. I think that, seeing those 2 games that could have been losses and how they won them, all right, I think they learned a lot from that. So it's I hope, Mason, going to be a major conversation piece in June for your podcast and for my radio show when we're asking, is this the greatest Oklahoma athletic team we've ever seen? Because the talent is there.
We're in the crux of conference play right now. What team, if any, do you think gives Oklahoma the toughest series, toughest game, or have they already played them?
Yeah, no, it's going to be Oklahoma State and maybe Texas. The Big 12 has been somewhat hard to figure out this year because, Texas was really playing good ball. I mean, they were really playing good ball. And then Iowa State went into Austin and nearly swept them. Then Texas ended up sweeping the series. But, I mean, Iowa State played great, and Iowa State hadn't necessarily been all that good this season. So now you wonder, all right, what do you expect from Texas, who had shut down LSU just a couple of weeks ago and then is barely skimming by Iowa State? So I don't know what to make of Texas, and we're going there next week. They get great crowds. They have sellout crowds, and they're a passionate fan base. But, Oklahoma, since I started calling games in 2016, hasn't lost to Texas, which is wild to think about. And they have Mike White as their coach. The team in the Big 12, there's 3 teams in the Big 12 that since I started doing games in 2016 that Oklahoma has lost to. It's Baylor, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. And I think Oklahoma State, of the teams left on their schedule, does pose the biggest threat. Now, Oklahoma State's got a pitcher in Miranda Ellis that Oklahoma has hit hard historically, and she's on her 3rd school. She started at Oregon, then she went to Texas, and now she's at Oklahoma State, and she took a year off last year. So she's playing with her COVID year. Cheyenne Roller is a very talented player that Oklahoma State has that I like a lot. So Kenny Gajewski got that win, but then ended up losing 3 to Oklahoma. So I would say, even though it's home, Oklahoma State and Kelly Maxwell, another really talented pitcher they have, would be the team that would concern me a little bit. But, you're going to get when you go to North Texas, you're going to get a challenge. When you play Tulsa, you're going to get a challenge. A lot of people are keeping an eye on those midweek series as a place where Tulsa could get got. But I think it's going to be in Big 12 play if someone gets it. And I think either, in Austin, hey, the 2014 team lost a game in Lawrence to Kansas, right? So you just never know, catching a pitcher on the right day, what could happen. But I would say it's either Texas or OSU is my big concern.
Last thing for softball, and then we can move on to something else. But you were in Hawaii when with Jocelyn Allo with that entire record-breaking performance. What was it like just to be in Hawaii with Jocelyn, surrounded by friends and family. What was that whole experience like?
Yeah, it was really cool. It's one of the neatest things I've ever done in my career. And in fact, I mean, it's probably the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. And it was not just her breaking the record or getting to call history. It was everything that went into it, right? There was the trip to her grade school to see in Halua where she had grown up, to hear and meet her whole family, right? Not just seeing dad and mom and her sisters and her grandma, but her whole family and her extended family, and to see how beloved she was on the island in Honolulu. It was really, really cool to see and be a part of. I don't know if I'll ever be a part of something like that again. I don't see anyone breaking this record, which is still growing and is now at 104 that she's hit. So everything about that was really neat. It kind of sucked because Kinsey Hansen got hurt, but the good news is that, she's healing, and Lindsey Elam's been on fire since taking over. But that was the only downfall from that trip, is Kinsey getting dinged up. Outside of that, it was amazing. Every second of that trip was something that I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life. And very little of it has to do with anything that happened on the field. And there was a record that was broken. And, you have your play-by-play on SportsCenter, but none of that was what that trip was about. It was about Jossie and her family and just seeing the kind of people that they are. It was really cool.
I'm sure a bunch of people have told you crushed the call, by the way.
Thanks,
you may not give yourself enough credit, but you crushed the call.
We had there was a kind of a think group of
I was about to say, do you think that out beforehand?
Yeah, there was a couple of us. Whitley Simmons, who was the video coordinator for the Sooners, Rayleigh Pogue, who is a player that is now, I don't want to say retired, but she's working with the team this year, and Patrick Dunn and myself had always just kind of, and Toby Rowland. That Sunday, I'm not going to lie to you, dude. The Sunday morning when we woke up in Houston, I hadn't even thought about it, right? And this is going back before the Hawaii trip. And a Sunday morning, I called Toby. I'm like, dude, this could happen today. What should I do? And he talked me through a few things. And yeah, it's just I came to a conclusion that the only thing I wanted to have in my mind was I wanted to say her full name. And I wanted to say Jocelyn Aloha Pumihana Alo, and I hadn't done it hardly at all during her career. So I had written that down on a Microsoft Word document, and that was about it. And I'd hoped that she she would hit one out of the park, and she absolutely did. I mean, she hit a moonshot for number 96. So it was great, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot, but there was a lot of people that helped make that possible.
That's awesome. So moving on to the Oklahoma football team, in the middle of spring practice right now. You're obviously sideline reporter, which you do a great job along with Gabe during those football games. It's awesome to hear you guys. Seeing this team under a new coaching staff, seeing them in spring ball, I don't know how much you've gotten to see because you're in the middle of softball season, but I know you do those interviews with the assistant coaches and stuff like that. What has that been like with this new Brent Venables era in the first few months of it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because literally while we've been talking, I've been watching the Dylan Gabriel touchdown pass on loop that they just put on Instagram.
Yeah.
Literally as we started watching, you're like, oh, what a catch. Look at this.
Great catch.
I had someone text my radio show this morning and they said it, and I think it's true. I feel like I get more fired up with every single one of the new assistants I hear from. It started with Jeff Levy. It moved on to Ted Roof, and then obviously Todd Bates getting in the mix. Miguel Chavis, who was, I guess maybe it started with Miguel Chavis as the first hire. Jay Valai, Brandon Hall. You hear from all these new guys, and they're just, man, they fire you up. And if the product, if their passion is any indication of what this product is going to be like, Mason, I'm here for it. And I'm in that group that, I'm not. I say this slowly and quickly, but I'm not somebody who is on the Tebow bandwagon or that wants to sit here and hate, because I think Oklahoma's in a better place.
Yeah.
And I loved all those dudes that were here, that were a part of that staff and the recruiting side of things. But, I look now and, let's go. It's a different level that you're seeing. It is and you've heard the term holistic approach a lot, right? It is a holistic approach. It's everything. It's giving these dudes an opportunity to have someone to talk to that's not their coach. And I think that's really big. So I love it, man. I can't say enough about it. I was listening to Jay Valai on my way driving home to sit and talk with you, and you close your eyes and Jay Valai sounds like Alex Grinch, but then you listen to him and what he's saying about the corners, you realize this is what this group needed, from Woody Washington to DJ Graham to, let's see if a Joshua Eaton can be a part of it, or a Kendall Dennis, and obviously the transfers who have come in. Kenai Walker is someone that he talked about extensively. In fact, I think it was the first question out of the gate yesterday. So I love everything about this staff that has come in. I love the approach. When you have a head coach that can give you a 20-minute opening statement, that's my kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know how fans, even the most disappointed, hurt, bent fans from what happened, cannot feel like they got a new lease on life since Brent Venables came in here and has just reimagined the whole program. It's incredible.
You're a guy who has a unique perspective because you are involved in the media side, but you're also ingrained in the program, as well as with alumni like Gabe Eichert, like Teddy Lehman. Those alumni that we hear from seem to be very, very excited about their access and their ability to be a part of the program yes. that they didn't used to have. And again, not hating on the former staff or anything like that, but that's got to count for something, right? Like it's got to count for something to have the alumni base that Oklahoma has, and to have these guys coming back and tweeting on Twitter and so excited about it.
It's massive. It really is. And it's really cool to me because the people that you're seeing also includes people from the last 4 to 5 years that are really excited about this, from a Kyler Murray to a Baker Mayfield. And of course, they're getting a statue unveiled, so that's part of it eventually for Kyler, the spring game for Baker. But that's really cool to me. Gabe has said it many times, and I can attest to it as well from friends and people I used to work with. You started hearing from people that you hadn't heard from in years whenever Brent Venables got hired and Lincoln Riley left, and that whole, kind of 9-8 days that took place in November. And you could sense almost a resurgence of energy in that. Hey, not that Lincoln was unwelcoming, not that there were any doors that were shut, but just a true, hey, welcome back. Let's go. And, Teddy's told the story many times. He would sit in Brent Venables' office and watch tape of guys and just kind of learn. Now you have that back, and you have so many people that Oklahoma football and Oklahoma as a program means so much to them that are a part of this program now. The Josh Normans, the Curtis Laughlins of the world, the Caleb Kellys of the world. OU football means something to them. They just hired Matt Wells as a quality control coach or an analyst, whatever that term is. Matt went to games with his grandpa when he was a kid. He's a Sallisaw guy. You've got dudes, even though Matt's going to be a head coach again someday, you've got guys here where Oklahoma Sooner football means something to them. And then in that, they have the relationships that they don't want to push aside with these alums and these former players. They want to bring them in. They want them to be a part of it. And I think that's really one of the low key, but because so many of the former players are involved in the media, low key, but very much talked about quite a bit. True awesome things that Brent Venables has done.
The last thing I can get you out of here on this. You've had a long career, and I'm not trying to age you. You've had a long career.
I'm 46. I turned 47 in 2 weeks. It's fine. You can say it.
You look fantastic.
Thanks,
you've had a long career. You started at OU full time as my last year at OU as a student, and I just kind of want to know during your time at Oklahoma, is there like a moment besides the Jocelyn Olive moment, because we just talked about it, that kind of sticks out from covering games or even games you've worked?
Yeah, dude. Every single home football game is special. I think my first year doing sidelines was 11, and then I moved down here in 15. So every single home football game is special to me. Listen, dude, this is crazy, but you'll experience it someday. All the young whippersnappers on your podcast that listen will experience it someday. But as you get older, moments like just even a game day kind of become almost an emotional thing. And especially after COVID, right? Especially after COVID. So, and I'm not even being a smart aleck. If it's Ball State, if it's McNeese State or whomever it is, every single home game, is a big deal to me for football. But I want to bring it back to softball.
Yeah.
And it again is just a general thing, but it's kind of every now and then I reflect on the path for softball and thinking about my first year in 2016 was first year we traveled softball to every single game. And Lauren Chamberlain, Georgia Casey, Shelby Penley, all these stars had just graduated and they came up short. They lost in the super regional. And 2016 was supposed to be this rebuild year with this group of young freshmen, Shay Knight and Sid Romero, Kaylee Clifton, among others. And they won a national championship. And, 17 was great. 21 was great. But I don't know if anything to me will ever be more special than 2016 because there were two freshmen that sat behind me on the bus all the time, Sid Romero and Fale Aviu. And we're great friends even to this day, right? Both are with the team this year. And every so often it's just, we joke about, 6-7 years ago, there you guys were. I remember Sid getting emotional when we left Vegas because it was the first time that she had seen her parents since coming to Oklahoma and then had to leave them again. Just these little things. I remember Fale Aviu's brother jumping on the bus after a game to yell, "I love you" to a player and coach laughing about it. I mean, just all these things that happened during that season are things that, just I'll never forget a moment of 2006. Now, some of the details you might say, no, that was that following week, wasn't next week, but 16 was just such a cool ride because it was so unexpected. And then 17 was you came with the expectations and then you had to grit and grind to still win it. So yeah, when you think of moments for me, in 2016, my first ever, time covering the Women's College World Series full length and, to be sitting in a booth with a police officer all night long because we didn't know if it was going to be delayed while we watched it rain and rain and rain, to 2 walk-offs versus Alabama, to Sid beating her sister and kind of ending her World Series run, to, I mean, everything about that year, dude, it is always going to have a really special place for me. And my daughter just started playing softball, which she doesn't now. So there was all these cool little connections for me personally that made that one of the coolest things I'd ever been a part of. And I love it, man. It's ended up becoming a passion of mine, right? I'm doing Westwood 1 games for college softball, for goodness sakes. I'm going to family reunions with, Coach Patty Gasso and her husband, Jim. And my better friends are the director of ops and Jackie Livingston and Jake Scroggins and Dane Summers. So it's become truly something that I never could have imagined. And it wouldn't be where it was, Mason, without 2016.
Yeah. The last thing, and I'll get you out of here on this, there's a lot of young listeners who may be listening right now trying to get into the sports media space like you are. What is your biggest piece of advice for a kid going through college right now, a kid in high school right now, trying to just figure out their way to make it into that business?
I think the key is there's no magic path. And I kind of learned this the hard way because I expected to be just snatched up when someone saw my tape and be hired by ESPN 2 years after graduation. I'm not going. And I wanted to do TV, and TV was really my passion. But I got a job in radio, fell in love with it, and the rest is history. But a lot of things. Number one is be willing to do everything. And so, for instance, if I hired you at my radio station, I would want you to learn to be more than a producer. I would want you to learn to be a talk show host, learn how to do production, learn how to set up remotes, which is very simple now, but just immerse yourself in everything. You went through Sooner Vision and you learned everything, right? Don't just say, I'm going to be an on-air talent, so I'm going to learn how to be the best on-air person I can be. Learn how to shoot, learn how to direct, learn how to TD, learn how to do all EV, learn about it all. I'm not saying you have to be experts, but at least know enough to where, hey, if things don't work on the air, I can go off the air. If things work off the air, which by the way, there's tons of opportunities for right now. I mean, there's tons of opportunities right now for directors and producers and graphics people. And so I just learn it all. And some get mad about that. It's like, well, doesn't that kind of make you a master of a few, but mediocre at many. Well, I think you find a groove, and that to me is where then you start fine tuning your craft. But in my world, that's a step up. That's as you go along. Hey, I learned how to do directing today, or I learned how to do this today, and I learned how to do this. Eventually you rise to the top. If it's where you get paid more, or if it's where you're better at, or if it's where you're more comfortable, or where you're having more fun, because all those things. Hey, learn everything you can. I can't say it enough. I spent too much time as a 23, 24, 25-year-old making minimum wage as a board op, working for free on weekends just to get an opportunity. I spent too much time stressing. And I know there's no magic pill to fix that, because I'm 46 and I still stress, right? I'm sitting here as we tape this, and I got a radio show at 3:00 today. I'm stressing about it, but not in a bad way, in an excited way. But I'm also stressing oh gosh, if I don't do good on this show, will they have me do another show? And I make my, whatever the payment is per show. So this piece of advice comes with the caveat that I'm not good at it, and I'm trying to get better at it. But the other piece of advice that I like to give is, remember you're doing what you've always wanted to do, right? So have fun. Because if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to end up having gray hairs, and you're going to end up biting all your fingernails off, and it's going to become a job, and it's not going to be a career. Make sure that it becomes it maintains as your career, and it's something that you immerse yourself in every single day. Even if you're a grip at a football game, remember you're standing on the sidelines of a football game, and your job is to pull cables. So that's hard for me. And then talk to everyone. If it's just interacting with them on Twitter, if it's DMing them for advice, if it's an email, whatever it might be, that's something that always helped me out, because I worked in sports information, and we didn't have Twitter, and we didn't have Facebook, and we barely had cell phones, but I would bug the hell out of people. And hey, do you need me? Can I do this? Can I help with that? I got an idea to do this. Don't be afraid to share your ideas. So this is a topic I'm very passionate about, because I feel like in my world, I haven't done a good job in helping younger broadcasters as much as I want to, because there's not, I think, this thirst for knowledge. I think people have looked at it and said, well, I can have a bunch of crappy takes, and I can end up, a tweet goes viral. And so there I am, I'm great. Or I can be a smart ass. But there's people that truly still care about doing it and doing it well. And I think that's who I'm excited about, for this next generation. Not someone who's just going to throw a dumb tweet out there and everyone goes crazy about it, but have fun with it, man. Embrace it and be willing to do everything.
Perfect. Chris, thank you. No, it helped. I guarantee you, if you helped at least one person, it was worth it, Chris, I really, really thank you for taking the time and talking to us. We really appreciate it, and looking forward to the rest of the softball season. Go ahead and plug whatever show you want to. If you feel like it, go ahead.
Hey man, you've given me plenty of time. I appreciate it. Go give me a follow on Twitter at Plank Show, and make sure you stay locked on to the Program Guy podcast, because it's well worth your time, man. I appreciate you having me on, Mason.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate it, man.
3, 2, 1.
Once again, massive thank you to Chris Plank for joining us, being our second ever guest. Chris was a great interview. Be sure to follow him on all of his social media and listen to his shows whenever and wherever you can. Ryan, were you going to say something?
I'm just, big shout out to Mason also for being a great interviewer,
Oh, thanks.
Really appreciate it. And you asking the hard hitting questions and getting some good content out of that.
Little behind the scenes magic, people. We haven't listened to the interview yet. So Ryan's just being very nice. So I appreciate that.
I'm trying to talk you up. I'm trying to talk up my other program guys,
I know. I appreciate it. We're here to circle the wagons. No Matt Gann today, but he sent us in his hard work. He's a hardworking man, that Matt Gann.
Hardworking.
And he gave us his list to circle the wagons. Mark and Ryan are going to take it away. Go ahead, boys.
Bang. I'm going to start with OU men's gymnastics. They're number 2 in the country, and they came in second to Stanford in the MPSF championship.
Amazing.
Matt did not bother writing out that abbreviation when he sent that to us. What a guy.
We got some acronyms in here, people.
Yeah.
So.
What a guy. They are hosting the men's gym is hosting nationals in Norman, April 14th through April 16th. These are some stretchy boys, and you should go see them if you can. Stretchy boys.
Stretchy boys.
They're stretchy. OU women's gym. Still number one. There's a theme with OU women's sports, honestly.
Facts.
They competed in the regionals a couple days ago and now are headed to championship weekend. It is the 18th consecutive year they're heading to the NCAA championships. Those will be held in Fort Worth, April 14th through April 16th. If just the OU women's gymnastics program was a person, it could vote.
Wow.
Like, I guess going years to the championship.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I messed that up, guys.
That was great. 18th year. I get it.
Leave it in. I wasn't going to take it out.
Also, those are the same weekends, people. So what you need to do is you need to, go to the men's on the 15th. Go to the men's championship on the 15th. They're the men's hosting nationals, in Norman. And then you need to get in your car and you need to drive down to Fort Worth and you need to go to the women's championship on the 16th because we got to show support for these people because they're awesome and they deserve it.
Yes.
We could have boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Worth.
Boots on the ground.
Good.
Boots on the ground, Ryan.
We'll see. we'll get there.
All right.
I'm taking over from here. So we got sorry, I was a little close to the mic there. I'm a little red, you guys.
It's okay. Red. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so OU women's tennis, currently number 3 in the country. We recently beat TCU 6-1. 6-1. Took down those Horned Frogs.
They're also the only undefeated Big 12 team currently.
Thank you.
Build different.
Thank you for that. Matt didn't include that.
Build different.
I know.
So thank you for doing his
wagons.
job.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing his job. We appreciate it.
No problem.
They also beat Texas Tech, who's number 27, 5-2, which is our most recent matchup. So, OU women's tennis keeps killing it. Let's talk about OU men's golf. OU men's golf came 4th in the Calusa Invitational this past weekend. They finished with 4 golfers in the top 20. That's pretty impressive. So, OU men's golf doing really well. Former OU golf alum Abraham Answer is playing in the Masters this Thursday. He starts this Thursday.
If we were real program guys, someone would have picked him.
Someone would have picked him, but I guess we're not real program.
We're on record now. We can't go back. I hope he wins just to prove us all wrong.
And then the final tidbit here from Gan is OU women's basketball honored head coach Jenny with the Coach of the Year. And we're not really sure what media outlet it came from.
No, we
are.
Like
the world.
The world
exposure
what was it?
report.
The World Exposure Award. Look,
report.
The World Exposure Report. Look, we're as program guys, we're not sure the credibility of the World Exposure Report. But what we can say is Jenny has done a damn good job this year as a first-year head coach, and she deserves this. She deserves this exposure. She deserves this praise, and we love Jenny on this podcast. A real program girl.
Tell you what, if the World Exposure Report went through the effort of naming a Coach of the Year and doing the research, then Jenny's worth it. Shout out to Jenny.
Is worth it.
Shout out to Jenny. Proud of you, Jenny.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
And that
you're the woman.
concludes our our
Circle the Wagons.
Wagons section. Sorry we didn't do it as effortlessly as Matt Gann did, but
that's okay. Don't worry about it. You guys did great. I liked it. You did circle.
I liked it. We circled them.
Yeah, we circled. Pat, I need this hot take. I need you
want
it? I do want it because I get the bucket hat because I saw it in there and I don't like you taking away my happiness. So I need to know why you're doing so.
This is coming from after the U.S. men's national team beat Panama. They were lost to Panama 2-0 in soccer. They were celebrating with champagne in the locker room after this loss because they did qualify for the World Cup. They're second in the CONCACAF qualifying group, and everyone's just so excited they're going to the World Cup. And they were so excited after losing about going to the World Cup that they had to have champagne bottles in the locker room. I don't like that mentality. I don't think that you should ever be celebrating after a loss. And I don't think you should be celebrating getting second place in your group that you should have clearly dominated, especially when Canada's best player was hurt for half of the qualifications. And we were really putting our best team out there for most qualifying games. I compare it to like if Duke would have went into after UNC beat Duke in the ACC tournament. That's like Duke going to the locker room and spraying champagne because they're going to the March Madness tournament either way. That's not okay with me. If you lose, you're sad, put your head down, go in the showers, get on the bus, fly home.
I'm kind of with you. I took it as like, you guys shouldn't be excited because this USA team is going to get dusted as soon as they get to Qatar. That's what I took it as.
That might happen.
Hey, Ryan,
well,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Guys, we're in the group with England. I'm a little worried.
I'm not worried about 3 Lions. Get out of here. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think the team's pretty good. I think the team should make it out of that group. Average age is 23. I think the mentality is sometimes still not there. I think Pulisic, as good as he is like kind of a hothead sometimes. And I feel like they need that maturity on the field to like calm down, stay calm, focus on the game. So that from that aspect, I think that they could, especially in a game like England, when there's going to be a lot of emotions, I don't know if they'll be able to keep those emotions down. But overall, they should be able to make it out of that group and kind of go from there.
Pat, doesn't Germany have a really tough game? The first
we
one?
have Spain and Japan. Japan's notably always pretty good in tournament play. Spain's obviously a good team, and then they are going to play either New Zealand or Costa Rica. And if it's Costa Rica, that they're not a bad team either. But we did beat them in 4-1 in 2006 in our opening game. Philip Lahm scored a goal from the outside the 18. It was incredible. But
so
not to get too much into German stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into the nuts and bolts in November, right?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I love to hear that. That World Cup's going to be in the thick of football season, and I can't wait for us to break down some World Cup when OU's going to play Baylor.
In championship November.
In championship November, we're going World
December.
Cup.
Did they move it to November?
I think it starts in mid to early November, but really like we're going to have some crazy days of where it's going to be like World Cup game, like England plays USA one day, and the next day is championship weekend, and like every conference has their championship weekend. So it's going to be like really crazy. Cool.
It starts Monday, November 21st, and goes through Sunday, December 18th.
Dang.
Oh, yeah. So it's November 24th is Thanksgiving. November 25th is USA versus England. November 26th is college football rivalry weekend. So we're in
that is the most American weekend.
That's going to be a pretty sick weekend, actually. Yeah. I'll enjoy that.
Got the Revolutionary War and some college football.
That'll be pretty
man.
Except I don't think OU plays OSU that weekend. I think that's Texas Tech. I think
you might be right.
Because they moved OSU earlier. I think a week earlier.
Could be
of Big 12 championship stuff.
All right, Pat. So I think you're hot. I think it was a hot take. It didn't go the way I thought you were going to go with it, but I do think it is a hot take because of what the team went through in the past for not qualifying in the previous World Cup and the disappointment that they all had for not qualifying. I think they were just celebrating the fact that they made it to this point after all the hard work, whether they underperformed or not. I think they're just excited about it. So I think that was a hot take.
Average age is 23. It's a bunch of kids. Let them be happy.
It's fair.
Yeah. And I mean, how long, Patrick, you would know this. Has it been 8 years or 12 years since the USA has been in the World Cup?
Technically, it will be 8.
8. That's a pretty big deal, I think. Like 8 years, that's a long time.
You guys want to know something funny? I was the rush chair the last time USA was in the World Cup, and we had like a rush party watching Team USA in the cottages at Norman. It was pretty sick. That's just something I remember.
I do remember it was 2014 and I was in Spain. I remember that.
That's right.
Summer, and Spain lost the first, like in the group stage, and everyone was devastated because they were coming off like the 2010 World Cup win. And then everyone started rallying around America, which I don't know why, because I thought everybody hated us, but people got behind us until we lost.
Pretty cool.
I was in Italy at the same time that Ryan was in Spain, and I think it was Italy and England that were playing, or someone like that. England and Ireland, maybe someone. And it was wild, guys. It was wild. The bar was fine. The bar wasn't that big of a deal, but then whoever won the match, the streets were full of people, and I saw him flip a car. like in happiness.
Crazy.
I'll never get that. I'll never get that.
It's like us burning couches.
Yeah.
They flip cars.
But you get to see fire, Every dude wants to play with fire.
Yeah. Mark's a simple man. He just wants to see fire.
We just need fire.
Patrick, real quick before we move on, I had a question. I was watching Liverpool play earlier today, and they had a 3-1 win. Shout out to Liverpool. But the stars on teams' jerseys and countries' jerseys, I know for countries, those pertain to like World Cup victories, but like do like club teams, do their jerseys change in whatever like tournament or fixture?
Yeah, it should be the Champions League star.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. So Liverpool has like a 6 on their like sleeve.
I don't know if it's the 6 Champions Leagues or 6 stars. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But
okay.
Potentially the 6 means 6 Champions League.
I thought you get a star for every championship you win. So like,
yeah, it just doesn't cross over leagues though. So like, if they're playing the Champions League, they'd be wearing that. I think they even wear that jersey in the Premier League too, even though it's like talking about the Champions League.
Feel you.
We're referencing it. Yep.
Patrick, our resident soccer guy. Appreciate you. Or football guy, as I should say.
Right.
Football and football. Never forget, Patrick knows football.
Right.
Let's go to our PGP MVPs of the week, guys. Anybody want to start? Anybody have a dying need to start?
Gan?
Yeah, start with Gan.
Okay.
I'm so mad at this.
Can I read this directly?
Yeah,
read it directly.
Okay. So under GANs, it says Kansas/UNC, and in quotations, it says depends on who wins.
Unreal.
What a joke.
What a guy.
I would like it to be known that everyone can listen to last week, but GAN in text messages was very adamant that whoever won the UNC Duke game would beat Kansas pretty handily, as he said. And after the first half, he was kind of talking a little shit.
Yeah,
he was.
He was talking a little shit.
He was. He was
because
talking that talk.
The rest of us, I think, all were like, okay, Kansas is the superior team. They're probably going to win. And then he's quiet. And then he writes this down.
Yeah.
It's lame.
He's a coward.
Don't agree. Matt Gann, we see you.
Matt Gann's
don't understand you.
Matt Gann's PGP MVP is Kansas/UNC. That's what it is.
Yep.
Joke's on y'all. He won't hear this.
Good job making it to the finals.
All right, Patrick, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got Elia Boston from University of Southern Carolina. She was the basketball player, and she won like every award ever. She won the SEC Player of the Year, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, Naismith Player of the Year, Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, Wade Trophy winner, USBWA Player of the Year, AP Player of the Year, Lisa Leslie Award winner, national champion, Final Four, man of MOP. What's MOP?
Most valuable.
Most outstanding player.
Most outstanding.
Oh, there you go.
Most outstanding. And then the Wooden Award winner. So she won everything.
Everything.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Dude.
Wow.
She's a stud.
Pat brought heat.
He did.
Yep.
That brought heat.
I watched the game for a little bit.
Okay.
She's good at basketball.
They handled UConn.
Can she dunk?
Easily.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. I didn't know if she could or not. I was genuinely curious. I don't know.
I'm
how
sure
tall
she can.
is.
Let's say she's a dunker.
Okay. Fair.
Go with it.
Fair. I'll go next. Tiger Woods. I'm going to say Tiger Woods is my MVP because he is going to play. And I don't think we as a society are going to appreciate enough what Tiger Woods not only does for golf, but he does for the sports world. He is a trailblazing guy in the golf world. He's an African-American who made a big difference in the golf world, introduced golf to a brand new generation of people. He is a guy who introduced me to golf and gave me my passion for golf. He's a guy who almost lost his life, like Ryan said, in a car accident, almost lost his leg in a car accident. And he's here taking range practice at Augusta, about to compete for his 6th Masters jacket. That is just insane to me. We don't appreciate greatness as much as we do. I'm the worst at not appreciating LeBron James. I do appreciate Tiger Woods for what he gives to the game of golf and what he gives to sports. So he's my MVP of the week. I hope you win this weekend, Tiger.
Yeah, I hope he wins this weekend too. That'll be
good. Me too. Tiger Woods is golf. I'm not at all interested in golf without Tiger.
And see, it's amazing because I listened to Scott Van Pelt earlier, and Scott Van Pelt covers golf for ESPN and obviously is their lead sports center anchor. he was doing an interview in which he said it's been said for years that Tiger Woods doesn't move the needle. Tiger Woods is the needle.
Yeah.
And that's the best phrase I could think of for Tiger Woods. When he is playing in a tournament, it just means more and people pay more attention. That's just the way it works.
You know, I think it's funny because golf forever has been like, who's going to be the next Tiger? Like, who's going to be the next like light that everyone can like just grab onto and like root for? And they haven't found it yet. Like, you know, they thought it was Spieth for a while. It wasn't. You know, there's been a couple other people who have come up through the ranks who are good, but they can't just grab it. I genuinely think the next person that's going to do it is his son, Charlie.
It could be.
So,
he's going to get enough media coverage. That's for sure.
He's pretty incredible if you've seen him play, and he's young. So
it's a ton of pressure.
Yeah, it's a ton of pressure. It's a ton of pressure.
But I mean, like Tiger had a ton of pressure on him too, and
he did.
You know,
he had a ton of pressure on him from his as much as Tiger loved his dad, he had a lot of pressure on him from his father. And I think Tiger learned that he's not going to do that with Charlie. So hopefully that helps Charlie in his childhood. Ryan, who's your MVP?
Yeah, before we move on to mine, really quickly, I know I don't have a must watch this week, but since we're talking about Tiger, go watch the documentary on HBO about Tiger. It's 2 parts. It's really good.
Yes.
Anyway, that's my plug. My MVP is John Batiste, and so this is not sports related. This is music related. And he at this year's Grammys, which were held on Sunday. So a few days ago, he won 5 Grammys. He was nominated for 11, the most nominations out of anybody. He won for Album of the Year, so the biggest award of the night. He won Best Music Video. He won Best American Roots Performance, American Roots Song, and Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media for Soul, which is a Pixar movie that came out last year that he created the score for. And a lot of that original music, that soul-based music, is based on him, and really like he wrote a lot of that music and performed a lot of that music, and he also won an Oscar for that for Best Original Score last year. So you know, just want to give a big shout out to John Batiste. I think everybody thought this year was going to be dominated by like Olivia Rodrigo and Driver's License and all that stuff, and he kind of came out of nowhere and snagged the Album of the Year one, and he needs to be on more people's radars because he's great.
Awesome. Mark?
Brady Manick, former OU basketball player. We watched him grow up from a bare-faced, bare-headed boy, really.
From Hera.
Honestly, to the metaphor that comes to mind for me is Samson from the Bible. The hair gave him strength. As it grew, both from head and chin, he hit more threes at a better rate for a better team. Every year, it kind of got a little better. It dropped off the last year with Lon here at OU. And I also want to point out, Brady Manick is an MVP because he left the right way.
He did.
There is something to leaving a place like OU with grace and civility and love for the people who have passionately supported you. And just want to shout out to Brady Manick because we're all shouting out right now to our people. And he's great. He's great. I hope he makes it in the league. I don't know anything about his draft status.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Speaking of religion, though, Ryan, how is the
look, Patrick? I actually have a follow-up question.
Okay, go, Pat. What?
No, wait, hold on, Mark. What book in the Bible is the Samson story out of?
Yeah, no, I don't know either.
Me and you, Venables. He's gonna get us to church, bro.
That was my question. What's the church meter, Ryan?
The
BB church
good question,
guys. It's not going well, but you know,
you just gotta wait till the fall. I think he's gonna get you.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's gonna get me there. So when I after that first home game where we see Venables and he's on the screen and we get the intro video, I'm gonna be like, yes.
Yeah.
It's time.
Time. Ryan's going to,
I'm waking up out of my hungover state. I'm going to walk into that Norman church and I'm going to be like, Brent Venables brought me here.
Why
are you still in Norman?
Ryan's three September wins away from devoting his life to the Church of Brent Venables. That's all we need to know. So, boys, another great episode. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode this week, episode number 13. Be sure to follow us on all of our social handles at Program Guys with a Z on Twitter, at Program Guys with a Z on Instagram. Be sure to like and subscribe on our Facebook channel. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you can. Also, Google Podcasts. Shout out Rich. We're going to be on there. Another big thank you to Chris Plank. Be sure to follow Chris Plank on all of his social media as well. Very fun interview. We'll have all these clips up on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe as well. That's going to do it for this week. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.